What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Please share this out with everybody you know. The much anticipated Let's Break Down the Election show is here. We're going to talk about swing states. We're going to talk about critical swing states. We're going to talk about what the numbers are telling us compared to 2020 and 2016. And we're going to do it all tonight. Why? Because we can. That's why. I know I'm not supposed to be here, but we got to make a living somehow, folks, and this is the way to do it. Don't guilt me. Don't guilt me. We are going to be covering everything about swing states. We're going to cover a few other things, including Oprah Winfrey and Kamala Harris and that little thing that took place last night. Oh boy, it was interesting. Kamala Harris says she'll shoot people who are breaking in her house instead of bailing them out, which is, I guess that's progress. She really has changed, folks. I mean, I might vote for her the way this keeps going. I mean, essentially, she's just a better-looking Donald Trump, I guess. We'll see. If you believe that, I got a bridge to sell you. Thanks for sharing and liking the stream. It's Friday night. I want to see a huge turnout tonight. Make sure we get this shared. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
What's up, everybody? It's Ryan Weaver. I am on the Don't Unfriend Me Show, otherwise known
Sorry, step into a Wimkin. I was drinking.
as The DUM Show with host Matt Spear. You guys can find the show at The DUM Show on social media or thedumshow.com.
Thanks, Ryan Weaver. Wimkin's on. Sorry about that, y'all. Forgot to hit the start button. Melanie, thank you for telling us. Wimkin should be green.
It's Red Friday, RED Friday, which stands for Remember Everyone Deployed. The movement designed to honor veterans and deployed U.S. troops by wearing a red shirt every Friday. As simple as that may be, Red Friday is a great way to back those who serve our country. Go to dumbshow.com and search for Red Friday to get your red on.
What's going on, everybody? Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me Show. I am proud to announce that the Documents of Freedom are back in stock. It's a 3-book collection, leather-bound, by Arcadia Publishing. Starts out with the Bill of Rights, and it's the complete edition of the rights, so you can look up and reference anything your heart desires. Declaration of Independence, with revisions and founder images included, beautifully illustrated. And last but not least, what would Documents of Freedom be without the Constitution of the United States of America in its entirety? The box is handmade by PFC Flags, custom engraving, all 100% made in the USA from the nails to the glue. And we have a 5-star rating, satisfaction guaranteed, 150 sold, 5 stars or better. It is so important, especially in today's society, to ensure that the younger generation has these books available in the future. Get them for your family and friends, available right now. Head on over to thedumshow.com/books. Thanks so much.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
I'm feeling kind of excited. Twitter is trolls are starting to come out in Twitter, and that's really good news. I'm excited about that. I love my trolls, and that's how we made Facebook, where Facebook used to be. Folks, the Documents of Freedom collection, there it is. Bam. Gorgeous. Beautiful. It's waiting for you. It's available right now. It's $10 off. I actually took it down in price because I'm such a darn tootin' nice guy. Got some interesting. Did you guys have a chance to watch the video today? And if you did, there was a little segment in regards to one of my. Sorry, I'm distracted. One of the phone calls that I had with GoDaddy, and it was interesting. It was interesting to say the least. So I had called GoDaddy today, and like hour number 3 of trying to deal with my damn email, and I had to reboot my computer. So I did, and you guys know how frustrating it is calling GoDaddy. But the first 3 times that I was hung up on, I was relatively nice, and then I had enough, and I decided to kind of let loose a little bit. I wasn't screaming. I was being, you know how I get. I was cutting her off and, not being very nice. And then she started, really trying to help me. And then finally she just gave it to me back. I'm like, wow, I kind of like this person. And you got to put me in my place if you want to convince me of things. And she did fine. And it was great conversation. And she said she's going to watch the show. Her name's Victoria. I hope she does watch the show. She said she was going to come on live. We'll see. Just a fantastic conversation. It was a good one. And, I'd like to say we made a friend. But she had peeped my page and then seen if, what I was all about. 'Cause she's like, who is this dick? And, yeah, I talked to another, like I said, we need another Victoria. We need another Victoria, like we need a kick in the head. I mean, how many Victorias do we have here? Like 47? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me shoe. Do we have shoes? I was going to start carrying some canvas shoes on the site, but I just decided against it. This is the Don't Unfriend Me show. Yeah, it's the Don't Unfriend Me show. We're not doing shoes. What the hell's wrong with me? I got a little bit of a headache. Not gonna lie, it's been a long day. It's been a long week. I need a night off. But like I said, Olivia's like, hey, you gonna come on? Are you gonna go with us? To the anthem, the 3-minute anthem where 175 kids sing it. And I said, you know what? No, I need to work, and I got to make a living, folks. So here we are. Speaking of living, we are a 100% donation style show. We're kind of like PBS, but with attitude. You can go to linktapgo.com/thedumbshow. I can sit here and tell you the sob story that Facebook has demonetized us and we don't have any stars. And people are like, why do you ask for donations? Well, because we can't get donations through Facebook or YouTube or anywhere else. So it's up to you. And you can go to linktapgo.com/thedumbshow. And in there, you'll see donate. Donate's the best way. It goes right through PayPal. And you can give a denomination of $1, $50, $100, $10. It's all up to you, whatever you want to do. And we appreciate it. Keeps the lights on. So we have a goal, 25, 34, 81, and we're doing pretty good. So we are moving right along. So we'll hopefully have a good night tonight, and then we will go from there. What is up, Still Point? We played Kingdoms tonight. It was good. We're doing a lot of still point music in the beginning of the show again, now that they're not hitting me with copyright infringement, thank God. So we're all about that, folks. We have Still Point in the house. If you like their music, go listen to them. STIILPOINT. They're on Sam Goody, Wax Tracks, Salzers. Actually, no, they're not. All those places are closed. They're on Spotify. They're on iTunes. They're on Reverb Nation. They're everywhere. Just type in Still Point. So people always ask, hey, Matt, thank you, Jelly Biscuit. Facebook sucks. I'll say it. Facebook sucks. Zuckerberg sucks. Still Point says Turtles. Is that a music place? Or was Turtles a music place? Like, what is that? Down south or something? Like I remember Wegmans or Wexmans or one of the two. Anyway, so let's do this. We've got I've got a little map for you, and I know 270 to win, my favorite site in the world. Pff, what a bunch of trash! They threw more ads on that thing. I mean, it was literally like surfing election porn. It was horrible. Pop-ups just left and right. It just kills the mood. So I went to ABC. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to cover ABC, and it's fine. It's actually a very nice electoral map, and it's easy to see. I'm just going to fill in the things we know, and I'm going to. This isn't my official prediction, of course not, because, folks, it's too early for that. But I can tell you the signs. Oh, you're at Turtles tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Holy shit, I didn't know. Turtles, Georgia, and where's that? Come on, man, give me some stuff. What is it? Athens or Atlanta or Turtles in Georgia. Look it up. Still Point, 8 o'clock. Get there. Or be square. You don't want to be square. So we're just going to run down here, and I'm just going to give you trends and tell you what I'm seeing. And then I'm going to prove it to you. And you're going to be like, Matt, you're batshit crazy. There is no way that this map is accurate. You know what? According to what I'm seeing and just the bellwethers, I know it doesn't feel good because you're like, this is what happens. This is what they do. They barrage and bombard you with celebrities and endorsements and it like Kamala, she's just too big to win or too big to lose. Don't buy that. Hillary Clinton was the same way. This is just like 2016. I'm telling you, it is literally, except Hillary's blacker than Kamala. That little joke. Because she has hot sauce in her purse. So just relax, because after tonight, I think you're going to feel better. So let's do it. Washington, that's blue. Oregon, that's blue. California, that's blue. Nevada, ooh. What does everybody think of Nevada? Just tell me. Just tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Hop Frog Music tomorrow, 8 p.m. Main Street, Dallas, Georgia, 30132. Sorry, folks, it is not Turtles. It's Hop Frog Music tomorrow night, 8 p.m., 318 Main Street in Dallas, Georgia. If you're within 150 miles, this is very much like Dave Portnoy and pizza, okay? Like, if I was to go ahead and compare most bands, they're floppy. A little bit greasy in the middle, way too much cheese, or they put parm on their pizza. It's undercooked, it's soft, it's thick. It's just a hot mess. Those are 6. Give you a 5.5 or a 6. And then you go ahead and you have one that's, maybe got a good undercarriage. It's not too greasy, but it's not too flavorful, a little bland. It's kind of like a football pizza. And those are going to fall in the 7s. And then you've got like real firm undercarriage, just the right amount of cheese, a good tangy sauce, a nice crispness to it. And that's going to be a 7. And then you have 8s, which are like, and the way this works, if you get a 7, you drive 100 miles for it. You get an 8, you can totally drive 4 hours for it. If you get a 9, you fly to it. If you get a 9 from Dave, you fly to that son of a bitch. Like, you go to New Haven, Connecticut, and you go eat some of the 991s, 94s, 93s, and you fly to that son of a gun. I don't care where you're at. Still Point's an 8-9. And that's a firm score. They've got a great undercarriage. Trust me, I've checked it on all three of them. It's nice and firm. It's well groomed. They have amazing vocals. They have a killer bassist, thundering drums, and the lead guitarist is almost as impressive as his vocals. This is a very good band, and I'll give him an 8-9. Okay, I'm not going to give him a 9 because then they're going to be in Pink Floyd, Jethro Tull, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Ace of Base, stuff like that. And let's cool the jets. Cool the jets. But if you asked me, Rush, pre-2112, yes, making music like before Trevor Rabin. If you told me Def Leppard right before Pyromania, I'd put Still Point before all those bands. No shit. No shit. No joke. I love my music. And it doesn't matter if it's Kool Moe Dee or Run DMC. It doesn't matter if it's Kenny Chesney, Garth Brooks. It doesn't matter if it's Faith Hill or Celine Dion or Tchaikovsky or Chopin. I don't get whatever it is. I love all music. And I'm telling you, Still Point now, and some of their anthology, their earlier stuff, I mean, it's like On Through the Night, Def Leppard. It's good, but it's not like it is now. Like the last 5 to 7 years of tunes that they're putting out is just freaking balls to the wall. Good. Great. 8.9. So as an 8.9, do you drive and fly to it? If it's 8 hours and under, you drive to it. I'm not kidding. 8 hours and under, drive to it. Fly to it. If I can get a couple more tracks that are a little bit closer to Demons, that are a little bit darker, Cry of the Saints-ish, Kingdoms, you're gonna be flying to it. Because I truly believe that someday soon these guys are gonna be nationally recognized. Now, can I tell you from their downloads and where they are in Georgia, they're no slouch band. They are loved in Georgia. So one of their songs reached top 2 or 3. They're incredible. I want them nationally exposed. You know what I mean? So I'm just telling you, if you haven't listened to Still Point, STIILPOINT, some of the nicest guys in the world, they are dummies. They're amazing. Go see them. They're that good. Okay? All right. Tony Spatero says, if you air drum the Def Leppard with 2 arms, you're a dick. That's true. When I used to air drum to Def Leppard, I would always be respectful of Rick Allen. But it's 2 Ps in Leopard, big guy. I'm just saying. Just 2 Ps. Show the band the respect they're due. They are officially the #1 touring band of all time. Just letting you know. They are still around. They passed Fleetwood Mac. Def Leppard is still touring. Those guys are amazing. I love Def Leppard. Anyway, moving on. Matt, can you do me a hung favor? I love doing hung favors. As long as it's like a bull moose. Can you roll my wife's ex-husband on TikTok for me? After you see his content, you'll understand. I can fill you in on his background, which will make you laugh. I would owe you big. Yeah, send me his stuff. Just send me his TikTok stuff. Yeah. It's okay, Tony. Everyone makes mistakes. Just make sure you show the secondary kings of England the respect that they're due. Maybe third. I mean, you got to give the Beatles. I mean, even though they're kind of annoying, got to do the Beatles. And then probably Sex Pistols. Then you do Leopard. Do you do the Stones? No. Screw the Stones. I'm not a Stones fan. It's kind of like the Doors. I don't like Jim Morrison. I know. Just not a fan. Okay, anyway. Pink Floyd, top notch. Kiss, better live than on the album. Yeah, Kiss is much better live than album. They're horrible. Like, Beth is a great song. Detroit Rock City, you like to, but Kiss, they're not really talented musicians. I'm sorry. I don't find, now Ace Frehley was just amazing, but Simmons is a bassist. Paul Stanley as a vocalist, meh. Peter Criss as a drummer, meh. Ace Frehley, okay, that boy's got chops. He's got chops. But Kiss doesn't. But Kiss put on one hell of a show, and their music was about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So they fit into the time. So you got to give them credit. They're like they're the number one merch band of all time. You got to give it to them. You got to give it to them. I saw don't you think I didn't see Winchester, Virginia Still Point? You're damn skippy. I saw Winchester, Virginia. And if you come to Winchester, we're going to throw a mother effing party. Like, I'm inviting dummies. We are going to blow the lid off that thing. But anyway, thanks everybody. We got 84 people on who's hearing me talk about music. Sorry. But still, 8.9 on Still Point. Like, they're right up. Dude, I listen to their shit constantly because it's got everything. They're a tight band. And if you've ever listened to Dream Theater, if you've listened to Leopard, if you've listened to Rush, you understand what I mean by tight band. They feed off of each other, and the rhythms and the lead into the solo, it's seamless, and the vocals are banging, and then the song's meaning is incredible. You just got to listen to them. Tesla's a good band. I saw Tesla and Def Leppard in 86. Yeah, I saw Tesla. I've seen Tesla twice. They're okay. They're good. They're not Def Leppard. Dude, Def Leppard bangs that shit. Dude, I saw Leopard Pyromania. Pyromania. I saw the Hysteria tour 7 times. I saw them in Irvine Meadows. Saw them in Colorado, in Denver, the In the Round video. You know, the chick with the big poofy hair and the boobs and pour some sugar on me. And she's like, pour. And she gives you those big eyes, sugar on me. I'm right behind her. You can't see me, but you can see my brother. I was too short. Now, it was the first time I've ever smoked marijuana. I could say that now because my security clearance is gone, but I smoked a joint. Yeah, I got high. And it was awesome. It was awesome. Def Leppard, incredible. Oh, dude, and they started out with Stage Fright. I want to welcome you to our show. It's just you and me, babe. Oh, dude, curtain drops, black lights in the freaking octagon. Joe Elliott, Steve Clark. Oh, God, before he died. Phil Collin, Rick Savage, Rick Allen. Just going. Dude, starting with Stage Fright. Are you kidding me? What a song. Unbelievable. I love music. Anyway, all right, we're done. Let's get to it. We got a lot to do. Look at everybody. They love my singing. I know. I should have done. Brandon, bring me on for a solo. Oh God, I can't sing worth a shit. I'm kidding. Let's finish this. I'll leave some good stuff. How about we do that? New Mexico. How about we do Colorado? First red, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho. Here comes the red. Dude, I can't listen, liberals. I admit that sometimes I can be wrong. But if you think that you're tied in the polls is going to get you a win against Ted Cruz, because trust me, people in Texas don't answer the fucking phone, especially in the rural areas where 98 counties out of the 126 are all rural and red, you're going to win until 8 o'clock at night. And then the rurals are going to come in and you're going to get your ass smoked, just like Beto O'Rourke did. Beto O'Rourke had him by 7 points. 8 o'clock at night. I told everybody I'm watching. I'm like 8, 9, 10, and 8 o'clock. And all of a sudden it's just like, and then it was like 52 to 40. Yeah, 52 to like 48. Now we only beat him by 4%, but you got to remember Ted Cruz in 2020. This is when they weren't happy with him because of what he did to Trump in 2016. So that's why. Okay. All right. So let's keep going. I did tell you guys what to tell me what to think, but I'm not going to put in what you say. Sorry. Nebraska, red. South Dakota, North Dakota. No, now we're getting into the interesting. I'm leaving the swing states. I'm doing it on purpose. What am I going to do? What am I going to do with North Carolina? What about Tennessee? Okay. Kentucky, West Virginia, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois. One second. Uno más, por favor. Whew. All right, so we're going to leave Wisconsin. We're going to leave Minnesota. We're going to leave Michigan. We're going to have Pennsylvania blank. We're going to give the big old blue to New Yorkus. Vermont is going to be blue. New Hampshire. Don't be surprised if New Hampshire gets a little interesting. Maine, we're going to do what we always do in Maine. It's going to be a 4-1 or 3-1. So we do 1, 2, and 3. This is the way it always is. And I have no problem thinking it's going to happen. And then Nebraska is going to be a 4-1 ratio. They're going to pick up one blue. Okay. Let's come on over here and let's go. Leaving Georgia alone. Leaving North Carolina alone. Leaving Virginia alone? No, I'm going to give them to him. Virginia is very much has a little play in it, but I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced yet. Just FYI. Okay, there it is. So this is interesting, right? Is that what your map looks like in your head so far? Does everybody agree? Does that look pretty good to what you're thinking? Is that what you're thinking? New York is very much like Virginia. I got to see some polling. I need to see some recent polling. But right now, it's like 9 points in Virginia, and it's higher than that in New York. So no, I'm not even going to entertain that. But that's what I'm seeing. Okay. Now, that right there puts it at 209 to 216. Holy shit, is that close? And didn't I tell you New Hampshire? New York is definitely I don't know if New York's in play, but I'll tell you, New Jersey and New York are interesting because if New York and New Jersey fall to Trump, this election's over at 7 o'clock. I'm just letting you know. If they take New York, it's over. It's over. There's just no path to victory. There's none. She can take all the swing states. It's still fucking over. Hear what I say. Because she can get 10 from Wisconsin, 15 from Michigan, and she's not taking Georgia, Arizona, North. She's not taking all those swing states. Trump will take 50% of those swing states. If the worst case scenario, even if he wins New York, he wins New York, it's over. That's it. That's it. He wins New York, it's over. Okay. 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 I think I got everybody set. I got everybody blue. Okay. Everyone happy? Everybody's ready? Okay, good. So let me tell you, what color is Connecticut? Connecticut's blue every day of the week. We're not taking California. There's no chance we're taking California. Listen to me. The race will be over by then, so it won't matter. Like, if we have a chance of taking California, it means the rest of the nation, it'll be a guttural sweep. But right now, I've got good news for you. And I hold off on doing this, not because I'm scared. I could have done this 6 months ago. But the swing states are the most important thing to me because I had to see where they were polling. And I had to get some data on Kamala. Like, I was ready to do this with Biden in, and I was like, I had it all set. Then the douche plow dropped out, and it killed me. So I had to see some Kamala data. So here it is. All right. So, Matt, let's go with the obvious ones. Let's slow roll this. Matt, what do you think about Arizona? Okay, here it is. You ready? Now, this is trending on the current data. This is not my final election night, but it's close. This is really close. That's my first. Ooh, shocking. Let's go to Georgia. Yeah. I think he takes Georgia and Arizona. And I've been very, very hesitant on that, but I feel very confident now. That's at least with what I have right now. Okay? Now, let's get up into the rusty Rust Belt. Top of the what should still be rusty, but it's not rusty. It's more of just like dilapidated and shit. That's right. Minnesota's not going to go to Trump. And the reason why is because you have no chance in Minneapolis. And really the counties can't. The counties would have to sway so big for Trump. So big. And I don't see St. Paul and Minneapolis. lowering support for Kamala. And I got to go to Mondale. I got to go the way Obama. I got to go the way Clinton. I got to go the way Kamala is trending. And Minnesota just doesn't look like it's in play. I'm just letting you know. And everyone's like, I don't agree. And that's okay. Okay. I just don't see Minnesota coming home. And that could change, but as of right now, I don't see it. All right, so let's get down to let's start to the West Coast on, okay? All right. And I'm going to walk you through why, okay? So everyone relax. I don't agree. I just hold on. Hold on. I'm not there yet. I'm not there. All right, here we go. Arizona, Nevada. Where are we? What is my prediction? Are you ready? Nevada go red. Why would Nevada go red? Well, Nevada go red because they've been working on their overall registry. That's why. And that has a lot to do with it. But I think Nevada, the border states are going red, minus California and New Mexico, because New Mexico doesn't care about its people. Let's just face it. They don't care. Illegals don't even go to New Mexico. What a shithole. Sorry. I can't stand that state. I live there. Don't even tell me. I get to say that. I live there. Okay. I lived in the weirdest named city in the world. Albuquerque. All right. Let's get up to the rest. Wisconsin. Matt, how dare you? Wisconsin red? No. Sorry. Wisconsin red? How dare you, Matt? I don't believe it. Just wait. It's coming. Right now we're at a 262, 223. 262 to 223. So what happens if we do Michigan? What are we going to see? Red. Now, why am I saying Wisconsin and Michigan are red? Well, Michigan, because of the Teamsters. This is huge. The auto workers leadership may have went ahead, but they know she's going to push EV vehicles. They know that they're all going to have to go through retraining. I think it's enough to carry Michigan. I really do, man. The unions are really strong up there. I think the teacher unions in Minnesota are going to ultimately also be a big play. But I don't think Wisconsin and Michigan are going to play this tune. Now, you got to look at Whitmer. Whitmer has come out for Kamala, and she was at the Oprah thing. I don't think it's going to be enough. I really don't. We'll see. I'm going to give you some numbers why. Just letting you know. All right, now, Pennsylvania and North Carolina, where's it going to go? Now, people are all worried about the gubernatorial race. They're all worried about the Republican candidate who went on there and talked about being a black Nazi and all this other stuff, and Trump endorsed him. Sounds like the GOP is going to stand behind him. Sounds like the GOP is not falling for this. That this is just a way for them to do what they always do, which is influence the election in a negative way by calling a black man racist. I have a hard time believing that this guy went on porn sites and said he was a black Nazi and he believed in Hitler and all these things. Now, he said some shit that I don't agree with, and trust me, I'm not a big fan. And the moment that they give me some exculpatory evidence and some facts, I will 100% shoot this guy down like I did Majewski, and I will crush him. Majewski friended me on Twitter the other day. I just laughed my ass off. I was like, does this guy even know? I'm going to back Mark Robinson up, at least for now. And if I hear anything that makes me go, okay, no, you know what? No. But North Carolina is dangerous. They want it bad, and they're going to do whatever they can to discredit this guy. And I think they should stand firm, and Republicans should not give in until they have evidence. And if he did do those things and said those things, well, then that's a whole nother conversation. But as of right now, he was closing the gap. And of course will you be quiet, honey? Yenny, I'll talk to you the whole time, sweetheart. I'll have you come up here in love, but you won't come here. I'll reach out and you'll run away. Do you want to try? Okay, come here, Yen. Come on, Yen. And okay, go ahead and go meow again for no reason. So yeah, Majewski is, I can't believe he friended me on Facebook. That was ridiculous. Our Twitter. Okay, North Carolina, let's just get down to brass tacks. It's red. I don't believe, because Virginia is just right on the precipice, I don't think they take North Carolina. Because this is the big play right here. Because I see that. The Teamsters union is huge. There is nothing but union steel workers in Pennsylvania. It actually, Virginia just had, in one of its bluest counties, of course, it voted 70% Democrat, had the biggest turnout for a primary. They beat last year's record and had more people show up by 1 o'clock. Now, you always get eager voters, okay? Does that mean that Virginia is going to be a huge turnout state? It means this election is going to have a lot of turnout. That usually helps Democrats. But I don't know if you're going to see the same anticipation that you're going to see. Virginia has been pushing the abortion ads like effing crazy. They want to sink Youngkin's chances, okay? So the reason why I'm like Virginia is, it's definitely loosey-goosey. But what I don't see is North Carolina being red and Pennsylvania being red, or either of those being blue, when Virginia is that close. I know it says 9 points, but I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you why. Okay, so what we see is a 312-223. Right now, which gives Trump some wiggle room, right? Like he can lose North Carolina and still win. He can lose Pennsylvania and still win. He can lose Pennsylvania and Michigan and still win. Do you see what I'm saying? So as long as he locks down Georgia and Arizona, picks up Nevada down here, he's got some wiggle room up north. And that's with her still taking Minnesota. I mean, just for God's sakes, if that happens, it's just a bloodbath. But this is where I'm seeing it. Now, why? What, Matt, why are you seeing it this way? Okay, so this is where we got to pay attention, because this is where the PowerPoint presentation begins. I've done a lot of research and a lot of work for you. By the way, folks, linktapgo.com/thedumshow. No donations as of yet, as I stayed home from my kids' play or singing a national anthem to go ahead and be with you tonight. Is that a guilt trip? Little guilt trip. Sorry. Yeah. So here is a video of my children singing the national anthem, and may you enjoy. Just remember their father isn't with them tonight. Hayden is right here, number 99. She's wearing my J.J. Watt Houston Texans jersey because they were supposed to wear red, white, and blue. There's my son with his hat over his heart, singing and facing the flag like he's supposed to be. Good boy. I'm so happy my son is growing. Oh, God, he's finally growing into his dad's form here. He's all legs, and he's finally growing. I'm going to give my daughter a ration of shit. I'm just letting you know. She's not facing the flag. She doesn't have her hand over her heart. We're going to have a talk, and that's okay, but she needs to hear it from Dad a little bit. Dad won't try to come down too hard, but she knows better. She knows better. Isn't that cool? It's pretty awesome. All right. So let's play ball because we got a lot to do. Let's go to the election folder. And I've broken this down for you state by state. Let's go to Arizona. If we take a look at Arizona and we look at the 2020 presidential election results, it was fairly close. He beat him by 0.3%. 0.3%. And you're looking at about 530,000 votes. Or excuse me, 50,000 votes. No, it was less than that. It was 11. I'm sorry, my math is horrible right now. I apologize. I'm never this way. It was 11,000 votes. Yeah, 11,000 votes, basically. So the slimmest of margins in Arizona. I apologize. I can't believe I just said that. I did all the swing states in my head. 11,000 votes. And that is between 79.9% of registered voters, 80% turnout. I don't anticipate that happening again. I don't think that turnout is even remotely close to what it should be. I think it's way too high. Hey, there's some donations. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. A little bit of guilt. Haha. I will put those in a second. So that's the breakdown. Now, let's take a look at what it was between Trump, and we're going to go back to November 3rd, 2020. Okay? And if we take a look here, you see a 2.6% lead November 3rd, 2020 in the overall election results. Make sense? 2.6% is what he won that state by. And that's what they were calling it on the 3rd. Is that he was going to win that state by 2.6%. Everyone make sense? Okay, good. And that's a fairly large gap. 2.6 is a very solid win. It's not a great win. It's a solid win. But as we know, he only won it by 11,000 votes. If we go back and we look at the total votes between the two of them, you're looking at 3.2 million votes roughly. And out of that 3.2 million, 320,000 would be 10%. So 1% would be 32%. Or excuse me, 1% would be 3,200. 3.2 million, 10% is 320,000, 1% is 32,000 votes. So a 0.5% would be 16,000 votes. So he was like 0.345%, which is a huge, they were off by two and a third. So that's a massive disparity. And the one thing you're going to find in all these polls is that Donald Trump does not get enough credit for his performance. I'm going to show you, I'm going to break that down for you. In 16 or 20. Huge disparities in what they say he's going to do. And this is where I have to go ahead and say that it looks very promising because of the performance of what the polls said in 16 and 20 versus what the polls are saying now. Because if we take a look, and this is for all the swing states, look at the disparity, 0.5% in Arizona. Trump is up. So if we follow the norm that in 2020 and 2016, the polls were dead wrong about Trump, and they always undercut him by 3, 4, 7, 8% at some points for his performance, this is an incredibly good sign for Arizona. Like incredibly, and it's narrowing. You see where Trump is kind of going up and he hasn't plateaued. He's moving up even more. And Harris/Biden is staying relatively flat. Can you see it? Good. So that's why I'm saying Arizona. What did Amy say that was a good point? Oh, what are the donation numbers? I'm sorry. I got to put this back on. I apologize. Where'd it go? Why is it not refreshing? There it is. There it is. I haven't put in the new numbers. Let me do that real quick. I'm sorry. I don't have my wife here. It is so hard to do this show without Olivia now. I used to do it all by myself. Now I'm just like, where's my wife? Where is she? Why can't she help me? Why won't she? I'm all alone, folks. Don't have my kids. I'm just sitting here by myself talking to the dumb nation, I'm milking this for everything it's worth. I just wanted you all to know this. Just for every bloody cent that it's worth. Kevin, coming through. Thanks, buddy. Kevin donated $10.80. Thank you, Kevin. I gotta get these all in. I'm sorry. Thank you, Amy. Appreciate you. Frank. Appreciate everybody helping out. Thank you. Okay. There's that. And then uno más. And then Keith. Like clockwork. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you so much. You guys are amazing. I understand how much this is tough during these times. And for you guys to always come through in the clutch, I do appreciate you. All right. Keith, $10.80. All righty. So there's Arizona. Okay. Does everyone understand why I'm coming out with Arizona in that category? Does it make sense, everybody? Good. So let's go to, let's do Nevada. So take a look at 2020, Nevada. You're looking at about 33,000 votes. The percentage, 50% to 47%. Almost 47.7%. 78.2% of the electorate showed up. I once again think that number is going to be very high compared to 2024. And that behooves and helps Republicans, by the way. The less people that turn up before the election day is a good thing. So you're looking at about 2.3% of the race going to Joseph R. Biden. Okay, so let's go look at the polls. And hopefully you guys can see why I'm doing this. If we take a look at the polls, they had Joseph Biden up 5.3% November 3rd. Once again, a huge disparity. Can Trump pull off a Reagan landslide? No. No. I don't think you'll ever see that again. I do not think you'll see a Ronald Reagan. You would have to put up like Mondale. No. 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 He won't take 49 states. Mondale took Reagan took all states except for Minnesota. Minnesota. Okay. So let's look. I don't know what there is no problem, Kyung, because these are numbers. So when I hear problem, unless it's a statistical anomaly or it's a statistical fact, I don't care what the problem is, because anything else is just emotion. I just go by the numbers. I don't care what the left believe at all. Yeah, it doesn't matter. None of that. Truth, inflation isn't real. They blame Trump for wars. It doesn't matter. Truth comes out the left media. No. Then that would have played in 16 and 20 and it didn't. So your point is completely moot. I'm sorry. These are 2020 numbers. Everything they're saying about him now is the same thing they said in 2020. It's not, no. Mm-mm. The whole point of this conversation isn't the emotional value. The whole point of this conversation is from the statistical points that polls are always wrong when it comes to Donald Trump. And they always undercut his number. That is the point of tonight's conversation. The emotional platitudes and all that stuff, it doesn't matter, because people don't vote for who they hate. That's not the way it works. I know you would think so. It's like, I hate somebody, so I'm going to go vote. That actually doesn't work. And Joe Biden didn't get the amount of votes that he got because they hated Trump. They got that amount of votes because they sent out an exuberant amount of mail-in ballots to people who were unregistered. And they were better at getting those people to fill out their ballots, collect them, and get them delivered. That is something we're going to have to do. Like, if you're in Virginia, you should have voted already. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for a couple of reasons. But I've got a candidate who I might have to interview, and I'm not going to vote until that's over. Because I want to make it very clear that I'm not voting before that interview. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I want to vote after, and I want to be very open with who I vote for. But I have a very good opportunity to get that candidate to show up, and I don't want to vote for them before and make it seem like there was some sort of, I'll vote for you if you come on type of shit. People accuse people of some crazy stuff. So the emotional side of this has nothing to do with emotions. This is already baked into the results, 5.3%. And you saw what he lost Nevada by, about 30,000. So huge screw up. So let's go see where he's at with Kamala. And here's Nevada. She's up by 0.7. So once again, you're like, well, Trump's losing. Yes. But they almost, all the polls, 2016, 2020, I'll show you the national average of polls for both and show you also each individual state. And they are wrong on everything when it comes to Trump. Okay. So Harris at 47.4, Trump at 46.6. You have to look at the overall number that they were wrong in 2016 and 2020 and assume that these polls are going to be incorrect as well. And there's probably more of a shadow vote for Donald Trump in 2024 than there was in 2020. So this is even better news for him. He has like a 2016 shadow vote. People are not admitting that they're voting for him. And his numbers are still very, very good in these polls. Does everyone make sense to everybody? These were just taken, these polls. This is this week's polls. Okay? So there's Nevada. Does everyone see how I'm doing this? It's not hard. It's pretty easy, right? All right, let's go to Georgia. Now, this is the problem with Georgia, is that this thing was so damn close. So damn close. Nice job, Scott, winning. Good for you, buddy. 49.47 to 49.24. Holy shite. 0.23, less than 0.25% difference. The vote total, 12,000 votes. 12,000 votes. And only 66% of the population showed up. If we can actually, this is why Georgia looks so good, is because the population is fairly close to the population of what I expect for 2024. And because of that, I just hope your poll is correct, Matt. This isn't my poll. This is a national poll that takes 29 different polls, the most recognized polls in the United States, and averages them over the last fiscal year. These aren't my polls. These are the polls. These are the unbiased amalgamation of every poll out there, skewed to the left, skewed to the right, stand up, sit down, fight, fight, fight. These are the official numbers of the 2020 election. These aren't my polls. They're not mine. I wish I had the power. I would love to do polling for a candidate. I'd make a killing. But no, these aren't mine. This takes 27 of the largest polls in the United States, 27 or 29, might be 29. And this is an average. These are the official. This is on FEC. This is on 270 to win. This is on Wikipedia. This is on every voting site that has results. This is it. These are the official results. Okay? So they're not mine. I don't do that. Fox News does that. Other people do that, and they cherry pick polls. I don't cherry pick polls. This is why I'm always right. Sorry. After 2016, 2018, 2020, 2022, and 2024, which I believe I'll be right, I don't try out anymore. I'm the Bull Durham of this. After 22 years in the minors, I don't try out. As Kevin Costner would say. Sorry, my record's too good. I'll put my numbers against Frank Lutz. I'll put my numbers against Karl Rove. I'll put my numbers against anybody. My record in the last 9 years of voting have been impeccable. And you have to remember what I said. MAGA hasn't won shit since 2016. And that has been my saying since you guys know for 4 years that I've been on. MAGA hasn't won shit since 2016. And they haven't. Hey, where's Carrie Lake, by the way? Enough said. Herschel Walker? Mohammed Oz? Where's Majewski at? Did Kemp lose? Okay. So we're good, right? We're good? Okay, good. So not my polls. So that's Georgia, which I expect that turnout to be about the same, and that doesn't help Democrats at all. Okay, now some of you might be like, oh, Matt, geez, you're arrogant. You're bragging. It ain't bragging if it's true, folks. It's not bragging if it's true. It's just facts. So if we take a look, though, even in Georgia, they were grossly incorrect. A full percentage point off. A whole percentage point off. And that is on November 3rd, 2020. They had Joseph Biden winning by 1.2. Probably one of the closest polls, but still had him winning. Now, take a look at where Camel is. Once again, there it is. Trump 48% and climbing. Harris is starting to drop at 47. He's got a 1% in Trump's favor. Now, once again, you can only give him about 7/10 of a point. You have to assume that Trump is going to produce 7/10 higher than what he's showing. So it's a 1.7 lead, because that's what the difference was. The variables in 2016 and 2020 is that they always undercut Trump's votes because of the shadow vote. 2016, it was a bigger disparity. Lake is delusional. Listen, I am done. I love MAGA, but I am done with the election denying MAGAs. I'm just done with them. Just get the fuck out of the party. Leave. I'm so sick of these people. Dude, it's over. Why are you suppressing your own vote? You need people to vote, and you're sitting here, stolen election. Gah, gah. Polly want a cracker. Where's your evidence? Gah, what? I'm so sick of it. Just shut up. You want people to show up. You want people to turn out, don't you? Then be quiet. Carrie Lake, I mean, seriously, you're running for Senate. Shouldn't you just admit you finally lost being the governorship? I mean, don't you think? Don't you think it's time? What are you doing? Waiting to be sworn into your freshman class? Give me a break. It's not that I don't like Carrie Lake. She's a nice lady, and she's passionate, and she's a fireball. But dude, admit when you lost. You lost. Sorry. They cheated. They always cheat when we lose, but somehow they didn't cheat when we won. If Donald Trump wins in 2024, you'll never hear anything about stolen election again. Give me a break. Everyone stop. So there is Georgia. I told you, you may not like what you hear, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to sit here and change now, folks. I've been the same ever since. Do you think some of the independent votes will... I'm telling you what's going to happen right now based upon the numbers. Evelyn, whether that's independent or not, it doesn't matter. See, I don't break it down that way. I break it down by men and women. In 2016, Donald Trump had 3% and 4% over Hillary Clinton of the man and woman vote. The only problem is in 2020, he didn't gain. He gained 0. He gained the same percentage of votes that he did in 2016. So it doesn't matter, because remember, it's not about the number of votes you get. It's overall the percentage of votes overall cast. Does that make sense, what I'm saying? So what's the difference between 75% of 100 and 75% of 1,000? Nothing. It's still 75%. So even though more votes were cast in 2020, he gained nothing. He had more votes than ever before, but those votes were also, Democrat got more votes too. The voting population increased by like 35, 40 million votes. And he only gained the same amount of proportion that he did in 2016. Joe Biden, on the other hand, gained 3% of men and 4% of women over Hillary Clinton, and that's why Joe Biden won. Now, we know how he did with the ballots. We understand that. They absolutely saturated these blue cities with unconstitutional ballots, but that's not stolen. That's the problem. There's no precedent for emergency powers during a national pandemic where judges circumvent the state's constitution. Unfortunately, there's no precedent for that. And the Supreme Court wouldn't hear it. And the Supreme Court wouldn't hear it for a couple of reasons. Because that's what happens when you go ahead and file 73 fraudulent cases against the state, that you lose your ass on every single one. And by the time that they got to it, they were 16 days from the swearing in of Joe Biden, and said, screw this. We're done. We've heard all these district cases. Remember, states wanted to go ahead and do an election of states, and they started challenging the constitutionality of the election. It was too late by then. That's stuff that I said that the day after the election, we needed to challenge the constitutionality, and everybody who watched my shows knows that. I said it before Mark Levin. I said it before everybody. Everybody, 3 months before anyone even brought it up, I was talking about it. No, I was like, stop talking about the stolen election. That's not what happened. Stop it. I see the numbers. I saw what happened. I warned all of you. And I said, guys and girls, don't get a hard on because he's up 10 points, because they're going to start calling all these mail-in ballots and absentee ballots. Watch what's going to happen. It's going to flip in the middle of the night. And everyone's like, oh, you cheated. I told you they were going to do it because the news media told you. Donald Trump told you. That's why he didn't want to fund the U.S. Post Office when she asked for how many billions of dollars extra for hiring more USPS personnel to deliver and go ahead and collect these ballots. When they wanted to push Pennsylvania and Georgia to stop verifying addresses and not bring in their election results for 3 weeks. Don't you remember all these cases? They did it right in front of your eyes. But instead, we got to make up stuff like Dinesh D'Souza and talk about mules and talk about broken water pipes and talk about Buenos Aires and George Soros. No, just look at the fucking numbers. There were 30 million more votes cast between 2020 and 2016. Well, that's because they printed out ballots. They don't have to if those ballots are thrown into circulation by unregistered voters that are being sent out, and the excuse being is that the DMVs are 6 months backed up and people can't register to vote. So any new in-state moves, we need to send them out a ballot. That's what happened. And not only did you see one ballot, you saw multiple ballots reach multiple addresses so those people could vote, and then one house wound up getting 3 or 4 or 5 ballots. It's not difficult to understand, but instead we want to make it complicated. Stolen election. It was stolen. Slow down. If you're going to make a claim, make sure your claim is right, because I just walked you through it. Somebody proved me wrong. Well, I saw some boxes. Yeah, I saw those boxes too. Well, I heard some preliminary court cases. So did I. Well, the judges didn't get to hear the cases. That's because it's called preliminary. They didn't get to discovery because there was no evidence to move forward. That's the way court cases work. Well, Matt, there was a litany of evidence. There was 3,732 affidavits that were all proven to be false. When situations happen that are emotional, when people don't like to lose, people will see nefarious shit all over the place and they will turn it into whatever they want. Did I say that the Democrats did a great job? Nope. Did I say that they did it with honor and integrity? Nope. What they did is that they used emergency powers under COVID to circumvent the state legislature and the state constitution by using judges. Now, is that illegal? No. Should it be? Yes. And you don't see that happening this time. You see these states getting rejected and dejected. You see that they have to clean up their voter registry. You're seeing that they actually have to check votes, that they're allowed to throw ballots away. They don't have the proper names or addresses on them. Now we're starting to see the legislation come out because what the Supreme Court said is we're not going to do a one blanket all for all the states. We can't do that. We're the federal government, for God's sakes. States have a right to hold their own elections, even federal. They have to follow certain rules. But ultimately, they got to get to the same count that everyone else does by this time, and these are the basic sets that they have to follow. But they can't necessarily control the way the states collects votes. It's not the way it works. Supreme Court said, we will listen to this on the district side. We'll listen to this on the federal side. And they have. And Democrats are losing their ass on these cases this year. This time. Okay? Okay. We all good? Anybody want to call in and tell me I'm crazy? What happened to voting in one day? Well, that's what happens when you add an additional 75 to 95 million people into the U.S. population. Voting has gotten more complicated, and voting is more difficult to count than ever. I'm with you. I want it on day one, but I can't change that. I can't make that happen. Okay? All right. Yeah, but listen to me. If you can vote now, vote now. You don't know what's going to happen in 45 days. You don't know what's going to happen. You got no idea. Get out and vote now. If you can vote early, and then check it. Check with the vote registry and see if your vote goes through in the next 10 days. And if it doesn't, get prepared to vote and go back out and ask questions. It's pretty simple, unless you don't have a reason to vote. And you do, so do it. All right, fair? Fair, good. I know I'm not going to make a lot of friends with this, but you know what? This is the thing. I believe that we need to trim some fat once in a while on the show. I would love to have 10 million viewers, but I'm not going to get that ever. What I want are viewers who are open-minded and can see and look at data and stats and come up with a very lucid argument to what happened. Okay? Okay, good. All right. Let's move on. Ready? Go team. No more donations as of now. I will keep you up to date. 1 second. Going through emails. Ooh, oh, that's a good one. All right, we'll talk about that later. All right, let's move on. Let's do Pennsylvania. Okay, Kyung, if you don't trust mail-in vote, it doesn't matter. Do it. And you still have 50 some odd days before, God, my allergies. You still have 50, you still have 50 some odd days. What is it, 57 days to the election? I don't even know what the number is. I do know it's like 24 days to the hockey season. Get your mail-in ballot now. Get your certification that you did vote. You can go to your local.gov and they can check to make sure your vote was received. If it wasn't, you still vote on day of. But why not get it in now? Folks, we have to turn out. You don't know if there's going to be a hurricane. You don't know if there's going to be a storm. You don't know if one of your friends is going to die. You don't know if you're going to be in country. Vote now. And yell and scream to the top of your lungs to get your friends to vote. Stop waiting. Democrats are voting right now. You got to vote. Get out now. Don't wait. Just check your vote. It's not hard. You go in and vote, and then you ask the voting station and say, hey, how do I check to see if my vote's certified? It's real simple. Here you go. Great. That's all you got to do. All right. Good talk. 76.5% of the people voted in Pennsylvania. Bullshit. Have you noticed anything about these swing states that they're all 10%, 12% higher? Now go take the overall votes and add 12% to the overall votes, and guess what you get? It's like 30 million. Folks, it's like 6 degrees of separation with Kevin Bacon. All these numbers add up to what I'm trying to tell you. No stolen election theory adds up like these numbers. If you take a look at all the swing states, outside of Georgia, which is an outlier, and you look at it, it's all like up 5.5 to 12% increased voting. Okay. Then you times that by the number of votes, and that's how you get a record-setting vote count. No, there's no way Joe Biden got 81. Yes, he did. I didn't say the votes were constitutional. 47 days. I was right. Frickin' Ronnie. 46 days, 5 hours, 49 minutes. Son of a bitch. I was off. Okay. Take a look. 3,458,000, 3,337,064. So you're looking at almost 75,000 roughly, here, give or take, in Pennsylvania. So that was 2.16 differential. Okay. Now let's go look at the polling. Are you seeing a pattern here? 4.7% in favor of Joe Biden. So they were off by 2.1 whole percent. 2.1% between what Joe Biden and Donald Trump were predicted to do. Once again, showing you that there's massive disparity. Look at this shit. Right there, he's tied in Pennsylvania. Tied in Pennsylvania. And he's climbing. Should I do it like Joe Biden? He's climbing. He's climbing. Donald Trump in Pennsylvania. Come on, man. He's climbing. All right. Do you understand? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Are you understanding what I'm saying?
If it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to.
Okay, that's exactly right. Thank you so much. We appreciate it, Mr. Biden.
Come on, grow up.
So now we know. Huge disparities, massive disparities. All right, so let's go to the next one. We got Pennsylvania. We got Pennsylvania. How about we go to North Carolina? $77.4% yet again. Isn't this funny that all the swing states are 10 to 12% higher than national votes? Oh my gosh, I wonder if what I said was right. What if I took 12% times the overall amount of non-swing state votes and took Pennsylvania and Arizona and Nevada and Georgia, Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota, and I went ahead and I took 12% times the total amount of votes, and would it be close to 34 to 40 million votes? It is. Oh my God. It's almost like things line up. 2.758 to 2.684. North Carolina, Donald Trump was up. Donald Trump won by almost a total of 120 or 78,000 votes, roughly. So what do the polls say? Were the polls right? No, not again. Holy sugar muffins, were they wrong? I mean, how wrong could you be? It's like literally dyslexic. It's like a 4-point swing. They were wrong. So if in North Carolina, Joe Biden was predicted to win in 2020, but literally got shellacked, can we imagine what's going to happen in North Carolina with Donald Trump in 2024 based upon the polls? I don't know. What are the polls? What are they going to say? What are they going to say? Are we excited? Are we? Holy shit. Based on this, he's 1/10 of a point up. Well, based on the numbers that they did, that's what, a 2-point swing? He could be up 2% in North Carolina? Wow, those are great numbers. And he's been laying flat. Those are incredible numbers. What a huge delta. So if they were off by 4% in 2020, what are they off here? It could go 4 points up for Trump. He could be 4% higher than Kamala. It'd be 2 points for Kamala. She'll go up to what, 49 to 51? So this shows a benefit for Trump because he is always misrepresented in the polls. And it's always out of his favor. Oh, even in states that he killed Biden in, it's still in his favor. that make sense? Okay, good. Now let's go to Wisconsin. We'll do Michigan last. Here's Wisconsin. 49.45 to 48.82, 20,000 votes. Holy hair on my chinny chin. Look at this again. A swing state at 72.3% on its turnout. Oh, almost like we have a recurring theme. Is anyone seeing the recurring thing? Is anyone seeing that these swing states were just dumped with ballots? And isn't it funny, once again, that we saw 34 to 40 million more people vote in this election than any other election ever? And if you take that 10% to 12% increase and times it by all those states, this is where the increase was. Why did only these swing states show up and increase over their previous 2016 performance? Well, because we were important. You were important in 2016 and you didn't show up. You're going to be important in 2024 and you're not going to show up with those numbers. We all know what happened. I can only pat myself on the back so much. I mean, seriously, the ego. It's got to stay reserved. Folks, the Donut and Friendly Show, linktapgo.com/thedumb show. We are 100% funded by you. You don't see coverage like this anywhere else. You got people covering that are going to say, Trump's going to lose. It's the sky is falling. You know, some people say, oh, Trump's going to win no matter what. It's going to be a complete bloodbath. Or you get real information with stats that are going to show you what the trends are looking like and why the Trump campaign doesn't need to be scared and he doesn't need to be going out to 17 events a day. Okay? Okay? Okay. If that's not worth a donation, I don't know what is. Besides that, my children. Did I tell you my children are orphans? My wife lost both legs and she's blind. It's horrible. It's a tragedy. linktapgo.com/thedumb show. If you want to see this and see my family live, only you can help prevent forest fires, folks. Save a life for just $0.25 a day by giving me money. Okay. See? Wisconsin saw those numbers. Let's see what the prediction was. Can we look at this again? Here's Wisconsin. You're looking at 20,000 votes. Only about a 0.4% difference. Look at what they said. Look at what they said in 2020. Look at this, folks. 8.4%. So if Georgia is an outlier as a positive result, let's just say Wisconsin is an outlier. Well, then it's even more in Trump's favor because the outliers taken out, they negate each other. You take an average of an 8 and a 1, you split the difference. That's going to give you a 4. That increases his average on the 4% gap, which is on all the other states. It actually helps him. When you do an average, if you take the outliers out, you're going to see more disparity, which isn't exactly true. 8.4% is what they said for Biden. He was supposed to get destroyed in Wisconsin, and he didn't. It was relatively close, 20,000 votes. Folks, do you see that? So what does that mean? Watch this shit. You think that's not incredible? Oh, dude, that means that Kamala's got to be absolutely kicking his living. What the shit? What do you mean she's only up 1.8? Joe Biden was supposed to beat him by 9%. And they still got her beating him by 2%? That's almost 100,000 votes. Don't tell me Trump is not being undervalued for his performance. Do you see why I'm hopeful on the swing states? You would have asked me a year ago, I said there's no chance for Donald Trump to win this election. And guess what? All those numbers said so. There was no chance. He had no path to victory. I don't see Kamala's path to victory. I can't find it. I can't find her path to victory. I've been looking because here's the other thing. Now that we've done all the states. Oh, we did Michigan? We got to do Michigan. Just more of the same. Oh, well, I don't understand. What's going on here? These numbers just don't. There's some tomfoolery going on here. It's almost like these swing states got extra balance. 71% of turnout. Why are they all 10% above what the national average was? I don't understand. Not only are they 10% above the national average, but I want you to go ahead and look at the voter turnout for the last 100 years. You'll see an average of like 54% turnout, maybe 58. 71% turnout? It's almost like people were at home and got a bunch of mail-in ballots and then went ahead and filled them out and sent them in because Orange Man bad and he killed people on bottom ticker of CNN. You must vote. Get Nazi out of office. I wonder if that's what happened. No, I'm sure it was some elaborate scheme with Dominion servers and changing the vote. Water ballots, secret water ballots. That's what it was. Oh my God. The numbers are there. Just look, just watch. 50.62%, 47.84. Looking at about 151,000 difference, 155,000 difference in Michigan. A fairly red ass kicking for Joe Biden. Now, I would say readily that is an ass kicking. Okay, that's a lot of votes. But is that what they called? Let's check the stats, John, and see what they say. 7.9%, still way off. But it's an outlier. Michigan was horribly called for Donald Trump. Almost 5 points off for Donald Trump, yet again, based on his performance. You just saw the number, folks. They got him at a 43.2%, right? 43.2% is what they got him at. He's at a 47.84. Almost 5 points. Almost 5 points. That's a huge delta, isn't it? And don't forget, Biden hardly outperformed what they predicted. So where's Kamala? Oh, God, this can't be true. This can't be true. 2.7? Well, based upon the predictions in 2020, Donald Trump should outperform that number. Do you believe Donald Trump lost votes in Michigan? But Kamala Harris lost votes in Michigan. How did Kamala Harris lose 2.5 points in Michigan and Donald Trump gained points and he's still going to lose? Does that make sense to anybody? Wow, it's almost like they're predicting that they don't expect as many votes as they got in 2020. Who's been saying that for 4 years? I don't know. Listen, folks, if you guys want me if you want to undress me and say, hey, you're too arrogant, you need to take it down a notch, then take me down a peg. I still have an open challenge to anyone who wants to talk about the debate and walk through the stolen analogy and beat the unconstitutional theory. I'm ready for you. Anytime. Okay. See? Siri's ready. She just said okay. Anytime. So if these numbers hold true, what does the national polls say? What does that mean? Well, luckily, I've got that for you too. First, let's look at the disparity. This is like the pro-Democrat bias. It's found in 2020 polling. It's in 2016. It's in 2012. It's in 2008. It's everywhere. And it's always this way. Always. Negative numbers show a Trump advantage. This is comparing Hillary's lead in polling data on the left to the final margin of victory to the right. Negative numbers show a Trump advantage. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the swing states. They called a 4.2. They had it off. Called a 1.2. Called a 3.7. Called a 5.3. And called a 0.7. These disparities are overperformance. The only one they missed was Nevada. And I wonder why. Because the voter registry wasn't, where it was then too. Matt, had they gone after the constitutionality of the election? I'm going to answer that question in 2 seconds. Matt, if they went after the constitutionality of the election first and didn't bring up all about the water pipes and Soros and frickin' 2,000 monkeys or donkeys or mules or whatever the fuck it was. By the way, if you have the story of the century and you can prove that the U.S. government stole this election, why would you put it behind a $29.95 paywall and not literally call every major paper and say, I will do your interviews exclusive for $10 million and put it out for free? If you truly are a patriot, Dinesh D'Souza is a brilliant man, but he's full of shit. Because the one argument that Dinesh D'Souza, he can come onto my show anytime he wants. I'm just going to ask him one question. And if he can answer it, I'll shut up. And he's going to be like, well, I took the nav data. I went to pub and just went saw it. And then so I took these ballots and they put them in. They had gloves and they had masks because it was COVID. No, it wasn't COVID. It was nefarious. They were villains. See, they were villains. And I tracked their cell phone data based upon this and 2,000 mules. That's amazing, Mr. D'Souza. Thank you. First of all, I'm a big fan. I think you are a genius, but just completely full of shit on this. The question I have for you is that all these people that you say were ballot harvesting and they were covered in masks and gloves, right? Could you see any distinct features? No, I couldn't see those distinct features. Were they black? I don't know. Great. How did you know they weren't stuffing the ballots for Trump? So much for 2,000 mules. So, thanks. The only logical explanation to this is that either 30 to 40 million more people all of a sudden during COVID and one of the largest pandemics the world has ever seen, where the entire world shut down, decided to register to vote at DMVs that were closed and backed up for 6 fucking months. That had us on perpetual lockdown. That we didn't shower. We stayed in our house and it was horrible. Our kids were with us. If this is the case, you believe that 34 to 40 million more people went out and registered. And you know that's not true. Because registration numbers did not increase during COVID, they went down. So how did it happen? Well, we know because they've told us. They told us that mail-in ballots were sent out. And if these people did not register and they moved and could not go to the DMV, and they were on a 6-month backlog. And then when they got there, they said, you need your original birth certificate. They're like, I don't have that. Well, go get it. Well, now I got to go to California and ask. That's going to take 90 days. We got to vote in frickin' 2 weeks. But if you believe, if all of that happened in literally the most trudgery, the molasses uphill with a 3-toed sloth holding my grandmother in a wheelchair with a gravitational pull from a frickin' supernova, slow, in a Safeway parking lot, that somehow in the most impossible and impractical situation somehow got registered to vote after moving out of state. Or did they go to the judges, circumvent the state legislature, use emergency powers to have judges advocate for the people who did not have a chance to register, who turned 18, who did not get a chance to register, for the people who moved into state who did not get a chance to register, for the people who came home from overseas and did not get a chance to register, for the people who were in jail and then met their fucking probationary period and did not get a chance to register, that they sent out mass ballots to these locations in duplicitous ways. And people were hearing 24 hours, 7 days a week that Orange Devil is bad and he's the reason why your mother died. And here's the death ticker to prove that the Orange Nazi is murdering all of you. And you better vote. Go check your mailbox. And all of a sudden, 34 to 40 more million votes appeared into the voting process? Did you guys see Trump's numbers in January, February, and March? Did you hear the Democrat language? We're not going to win. They were battening down the hatches for the biggest loss ever. Donations dried up like a popcorn fart. They were done. Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg were leading nationally and had already picked up 3 primary states. They kicked the shit out of Biden in Michigan. They kicked the shit out of Biden in Wisconsin. They beat him in Iowa. Did you watch? Did you see Nancy Pelosi when she asked for $1 billion to give to the U.S. Postal Service? Did you hear the states take it to court to extend their election counting? Did you hear the news for 3 weeks like they're telling us now? Don't expect a result on election night, because they're going to count the day of votes first because all the polling stations are overwhelmed. They don't have enough people. So they're saving the mail-in ballots. And folks, that usually means Democratic votes. So just get prepared. I'm letting you know. They told you what was going to happen. They prepared you for it. You just didn't listen. Matt, you're wrong. I showered every day. Yeah, I didn't. There was just days I didn't need to. I woke up and I'm like, screw it. So that's that. Now you've seen the national. Let's look at the national numbers where we're at, and then we're going to go. Because this is never a popular show. Whenever I do this, people get so mad. But the reason why you're mad, can I just tell you, you're not mad because I'm wrong. You're mad because you know I'm right. That's why. And it's okay. I'm not trying to make you embarrassed. I'm not trying to throw a grenade into your mindset. I'm trying to get you to understand is that numbers, they're a very strong storyteller. But that's not all the work you have to do. You've got to dig in. Numbers only tell you half a story. When I was running markets in regions, I would see a number and I would assume I knew. My conversion rate was down in some of my stores. Okay, well, they're not offering the product. The warranties are out. They're not offering the PPP plan. They're not increasing cables and extra stereo equipment onto the TV sale. Well, they're just not demoing. And you can assume that. And then you call the manager, what the fuck, get your, you son of a, get it. And what does that do? They're like, bro, we've been out of stock on all of our cables and audio equipment for 3 months. That's why we're not selling. And you're like, oh, shit. I jumped the gun. I let the numbers guide me. I had an 80,000 foot view on a 5 foot problem. And instead of me going and actually qualifying with quantitative numbers, I'm going to go ahead and assume. And then I assume, and then I get the opportunity. You can't do that. You got to get in the field. You got to get out there. So when I see these numbers, I go, okay, great. I got a good segue. I got a track. I got a place that I can start looking and sniffing and putting under a magnifying glass. But I got to go out there and I got to look and see what the legislation was. I got to see what the request, what the court cases were, what the funding looks like, what the reasoning to send out these ballots, what the qualifications were from the judges, and then see that. Then I got to look at news articles. Then I got to look at statements. Then I got to look at the opposition research. And you put it all together and you come up with a story. And the story isn't that George Soros is in Buenos Aires with the Nazis and decides to go ahead and hijack German servers to go ahead and throw our election. Those are never the results that I came up with. And I certainly didn't come up with that the Russians influenced the election and cajoled with Donald Trump to take 2016. I'm sorry, the numbers just don't add up. Do I have Mel on the phone?
Of course you do.
What's up, sister? What do you want to talk about? Tell me it's not
clarification or whatever. I noticed at the beginning you showed on your map. I like your map. It was great. I am confused because I am a Canadian and I don't understand your whole electoral. I'm getting better, but you took two states and you gave 3-1 blue with a red and then 4-1, like whatever, those two states.
Yep.
So how come you can't do that like with California or Oregon? Because Oregon, the eastern side of Oregon wants to abdicate to Idaho. So how can I'm not too sure how you did that on your map.
Yep.
Because I know Northern California's rural, like whatever, they're not blue. It's only like San Diego, San Francisco, LA, maybe.
Yep.
So I'm not too sure on that process. So that was my question.
That's a good question. First of all, Living Patriots, Mel is a longtime caller. We know she's from Canada, and we don't hold that against her. It would be like her holding against you that you don't know anything about Canada. So she's asking a very poignant question. She didn't say, why is Montreal a complete shit hockey team versus the Colorado Avalanche? She didn't ask that question. And that answer is really simple, because Colorado Avalanche are the greatest hockey team ever. That's a lie.
And Montreal sucks, so
you're cutting out. I can't hear you. No, I'm kidding. So this is why. Because there's two states in the Union, in the United States, that split their electoral votes. And those two, if you look down here, I'm going to pull this up. Can you see your screen still?
No, I can't. But
okay, that's fine.
I'll look at it afterwards. But
yeah. Look at it afterwards. So here you're going to see it's broken up by district, and they split their electoral votes. Maine has 4, and then Nebraska has a total of 5. And these are 2 for the Electoral College, and then 3 representation for the district, or 2 for the Electoral College in Maine, and 1 singular equally, or 2 singular for the districts. And the reason why they do this is because Nebraska and Maine are a pain in the fucking ass. Pretty simple. This is just states. These are the states. Okay. So I'll read it to you to give you an exact answer. Maine allows for its electoral votes to be split. 2 for its electoral votes are awarded statewide, and 1 is awarded in each of its 2 congressional districts. So the 2 senators, representative indicative of the people, and 2 for the state itself. Nebraska allows for the electoral votes to be split. 2 is for its 5 electoral votes are awarded statewide, and 1 is awarded in each of its 3 congressional districts. So it has 2 for the state. Maine has 2 for the state, and then 1, 2 in Maine for the congressional districts, and then 3 congressional districts in Nebraska. That's how it works. Those are the only 2 states in the union who do that. And usually the way it falls is Nebraska will get 2 for the state, 1, 1, and then one district will fall blue. In Maine, it's pretty common to have 3 blue, 2 for the state, 1 for the district, and 1 district to turn red, and that's why you get the candy cane stripe.
Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Like, and I know there's others out there that don't know in the States how that worked. So yes, thank you for the clarification. Like, yeah, that makes total sense now. So thank you.
And they are a pain in the ass, by the way. Just want to let you know.
Well, yeah,
but they are. They could make it a lot easier.
Maybe some of the other ones should become pain in the asses too.
Well, then you have a complete different story, because what do you do in California? So the congressional districts that they have in California are ridiculous. So do you give 2 for the state and then do for the districts? Well, if they did that, California would never be blue again.
Exactly.
and New York wouldn't be blue, and Texas would be red, because the big cities, even though they have larger districts, their districts wouldn't weigh the same. Now, if they based it on population, well, then California will never be red again and will be blue for the rest of its life. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking there's a bit of a bigger swing in California this time around, and I know Oregon
Oh, yeah.
because they want to. Half of it wants to go to Idaho because they're
Yeah.
really tired of just one city controlling their whole state, and so I'm
Yep.
thinking there might be some shakeup. And the other question I had was, did you see the thing about Letitia James getting this new superpower starting tomorrow in the state of New York about the electoral whatever, and she can decide between different whatever. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I haven't.
But
I have not seen anything yet, but I most certainly will look.
yeah, it was a sneaky thing that whatever, and Hochul and her and it takes effect on the 22nd, which is tomorrow, I believe. I can't remember what date it is today. But yeah, it's a really sneaky thing that gave Letitia James some really abnormal powers for this election coming up in the state or for New York. So yeah, you might want to just take a glance at that too. But anyways, thank you for your time and cheers and have a great weekend.
How are we doing, by the way, on the electric coverage and the predictions? Does that throw a little information your way that's like, wow, that's kind of surprising looking at the trends from 16, 20, and 2024 predictions?
No, I'm not surprised at all. And actually, I'm actually kind of happy that, and I listen to the underground too, and I'm like, this is what's out there on the surface or whatever. To me is, it's Harris, whatever. But I think a 2016 event is going to take effect this time. Yeah. I just get that. I just get that feeling.
Can I tell you something that's going to make you? Can I tell you something that's going to make you proud?
Okay.
So there's another reason why I was going to hold on to this, but one of the major things that happened internationally was Brexit in 2016. That also aligned with Donald Trump, right? And that it was more of a change candidate. Well, Trudeau, if I'm not mistaken, didn't the leftist leadership lose House seats in Parliament? And doesn't it look, did they lose like 3 or 4 seats? And it looks like that the more conservative right side of party is going to take over. Is that correct or not?
Oh, yeah. Oh, totally. And the rats are jumping ship daily, whatever, on the Lib Party, whatever. Yeah. And the NDP, which is our communist party here in Canada, they're getting their turbans twisted in a knot. That's not a race, whatever.
That's a good sign. That's a good sign.
Yeah. And so the tide is turning up here. And then now with the interest rate cut in the Fed down south, that affects us totally 100% up here.
Yep.
So things, the winds are changing to the good side of the house.
Trudeau's getting a boot in the ass. I don't think Trudeau's going to be here much longer, and that's a good thing.
No, and Pierre is trying to get a non-confidence, but he's being stymied a bit, even though Jagmeet Singh, the NDP leader, whatever, he wants his pension and he needs to get to October 2025 to get it, his lifetime $1 million payout pension. And I don't think it's going to happen. But there's one silly party we have in Canada that it's not national, but they're a federal party, but you can only vote for them in the province of Quebec. So that's the Bloc Québécois. So it's an unfair system that we have up here because this little controlling group from one province only can get elected in Quebec. They don't have candidates across the country. It's only in Quebec. And it's federal, which is wrong to begin with. But because of this language thing that we have to have, the French and the English, and we have to come together, bullshit, Bloc Québécois is holding the cards right now to stave off a federal election. But I think it's not going to last long. And I'm thinking after November the 5th, we're going to have we're going to have an election up here, right behind it. So
is Pierre going to win?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, then here's what we need to do. We need to do election night in Canada, like hockey night in Canada. And I think it'd be great for a Wednesday show. So I still need you to get involved in that and find me 2 more Canucks to call in.
Yeah. Well, no, Tuner and I are working on it, but because of all the other things that are going on, they're all a little busy because they're all small news media companies. So they're trying to, keep their livelihood or whatever. But yes, definitely Tuner and I are on it, and we will
need
get
to do
you
Radio Free
a couple of
Canada,
people.
Mel. I don't mean to interrupt, but we need to do Radio Free Canada. There's my stories are censored in Canada. In fact, they won't allow my news page to even be shown in Canada. And this is ridiculous. Like, we got to start doing this.
Well, I know, and I can't get any news feed out of the U.S. either because it's all blocked. So when there's news feed on Dumb Nation or whatever, automatically it comes up, blocked in Canada, blocked in Canada. I'm like, this sucks because it's going cross border, like it's on both sides of the whatever. We can't get news on either side from these news outlets because the communist broadcasting corporations of both countries are like censoring everything. And like right now, it's just huge how much we can't get U.S. Political news. Like it's insane, but it's not shocking because we knew this was going to happen because they're doing it to you guys in the States as well. So with your own news, as you can tell, Facebook and whatever, they're throttling everything.
Oh, they hate me.
Oh, well, they hate everybody right now that has the red flag on there or whatever. But I'm thinking after November the 5th, I'm really, and we're all, and there's a whole hockey sock of Canadians up here going, please, 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 can the Red Hat win? Because we're just, because that will turn our tide back to some kind of normalcy and some sort of, because we got to get out of this communist regime. Like, this is nuts. This is just insane. We're going broke up here faster than you guys are because our economy is in the toilet. Trudeau sends all our money overseas to help everybody else but his own, same as what's going on with Biden and Harris. And it's a culmination, whatever. But the majority of the Canadians, the smart ones, and there's a lot of them other than that live in Toronto and Ottawa, know that our economies are tied together. Like whatever happens south happens up here. Like we've been so tied together for so long. Like, I want to become the 51st and 2nd and 3rd and 50 whatever state of the U.S. and a bunch of us do. That Freedom Alberta, like all the Western provinces except for communist BC where I live, going, oh well, no, we can't go live in the States. I'm like, holy crap! Do you know how many like? Yeah. Anyways, that's another topic for another night. But it was just like, no, Western Canada wants to separate from those assholes down east because our election is the same as yours. If it starts at the East Coast, but by the time it gets to Ontario, all the rest of our votes from Ontario all the way west don't count because the election is already over because there's 3 cities that vote and we're toast. And we have way too many parties in this country that are on balance.
Well, you've got way too many cell phone carriers too. Comcast was going to go up and enter the cell phone game in Canada, and we said fuck that. Like, don't you guys have like 76 different cell phone carriers?
No, we have 3.
Oh my God, Trudeau killed it, huh? He really is a socialist dick, isn't he?
Oh yeah, like we can't get Verizon, we can't get whatever, we have 3. We have
God, that's not the way it used to be, Mel. That's not the way it used to be. Canada was like really similar to Europe, and like Europe has like 175 different cell phone carriers, and Canada it was like 16 or 20. So he really is turning that into a socialist haven, isn't he?
Oh, exactly. Like we have 3. Like we can't.
What a dick.
We can barter between 3 companies to say, can we get a reduced rate? And the rates are just unbelievable. Like,
what about Mint Mobile? You don't have Mint Mobile up there with Ryan Reynolds? He's a Canuck.
Nope.
Oh, see, I gotta see that Ryan Reynolds is out here. He's offering $15 lines and shit, and they're making a killing. I mean, Mint Mobile is killing it. All right, I gotta go, Mel. I gotta wrap this up.
You bet. But
I love
thank
you,
you
kid.
for listening.
You're the best. I always love having you on. Mel from Canada, folks. She is amazing. We absolutely adore her. She is awesome. I do want to do Radio Free Canada because I'm telling you what they're doing up there. I don't know if y'all have seen this, but they're trying. They are desperately. Just tell me what you see here. Can anyone know this but me? I can't be the only one. Here, watch this.
How to pronounce Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
Kamala.
My
Kamala.
baby nieces, you can go on YouTube and they did a really great tutorial on how to pronounce my name. So look it up. What did
All right, anybody want to tell me? What do
Kamala
they
Harris's mother tell her? She told us that we should never let anyone tell us who we are. You tell them who you are.
Okay, tell me. Someone tell me. Come on. You got to see it. You got to see it. What is Amy? It's all part of the plan. Yes, it's part of the plan. Folks, want to thank the people for donating tonight. It's pretty slow tonight. I stayed home from the football game so I could be with you. It's okay. I'm not feeling bad. We're not doing too bad. We're about about 12. I don't know. I'm too tired. We're behind a little bit, but we're going to be okay. Hopefully when we come back next week, we'll be good. But we are sitting fairly far behind. We're about 1150, 1175, something like that behind on our goal. But that's okay. We're getting towards it. But if you have not had a chance to donate, and it's a slow night tonight because honestly, it's Friday night. I think people are checked out, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you could help us, we would appreciate it. Nope, not softer tones, not more ladylike. That's not it. Come on. Come on. I want you to think. I want you to use that brain. That amazing brain that y'all have. What is different? What is that? Here, I'll play some more.
Said to me many times, Kamala, you may be the first to do many things. Make sure you're not the last. Since I was 2 years old, my mother told me to look out for my little sister. These are all instructions that she gave me that I have carried throughout my life. What does Kamala Harris stand for? I am a daughter of parents who are active in the civil rights movement. They actually...
Your father was a fucking communist, lady. Come on, enough. They were activists. They're communists. That's hardly activism. Can you just be honest for once in your life? Does anyone want to tell me? It's all about her. They push the global agenda. I know they do. Come on, everybody. Use that. Come on, you've got a great brain. Am I the only one that sees this? I can't believe it. Come on, I've shown you guys better than this.
Took me when I was in a stroller to a civil rights march.
See, you have to notice these. No, not new hair. It's okay. Let me give you a hint. Yeah. They made fun of Trump for the water drinking thing. They made fun of him for his hands. They made fun of him for his hair. He never changed. He never changed. No, she has a flag pin. It's just not red, white, and blue. Donald Trump never changed. Never changed his hair, never changed his tan, never changed his suit. He never let anyone get to him. They've been making fun of her neck, which I think is fucked up. I think it's wrong, but who cares? But she's so fucking insecure. She's so incapable. So incapable of standing on her own 2 feet. She covered her fucking neck with a scarf on her 9-minute video. This is how insecure this woman is. You know what my mom would say? Go fuck yourself. These are battle scars. This is from sitting out in the sun. This is from putting on weight, losing weight, putting on weight, losing weight, putting on, losing weight. As I pushed a 9-pound to 11-pound bowling ball out of my vagina. Go fuck yourself. Well, she doesn't have any kids that aren't stepkids, but it doesn't matter. Who cares? So she's getting older. She's a good-looking woman. I don't care what anyone says. She's well put together. Who gives a shit? But she does. This woman is so insecure. Can you imagine what world leaders are going to do to her? They're going to kill her. Not kill her, but you know what I mean. Got to do a Jesse Waters. They're going to take their turn on. They're going to take their turns on her, or whatever he said. Do you understand how big of a deal this is? I don't think anyone's noticed it. I better make a video on this, huh? Oh, Amy, knock it off. Your neck doesn't look like that. Do you guys understand? This is how insecure she is. Can you believe that? Thomas, that's funny. But for her to do that, it just shows, it tells you so much. It really does. And I don't think she should cover it. I just think she should be her. You know what I mean? Just be you. The scarf is to cover her neck because she's insecure. What happens when somebody insults her from a world leader and says that her makeup's too dark, or says that she looks like she put on weight? And then psychologically, do you think intelligence agencies aren't recognizing this? Do you think counterintelligence agencies are not watching this? Because I picked it up and it just happened to be my job. You don't think that if I'm watching a foreign leader, which I have several and many times, whether it be a low-level attaché or an ambassador at the embassy, it doesn't. You watch people. They know that they can get to her. And when you can pick up on pressure points like that, you know what will truly impact them. Could be a nude photo that she doesn't want released. Could be a video. If she's susceptible to people making fun of her neck, Hillary Clinton never changed her dress. Now, she did when she was vice president. She would get a new hairdo. She would actually have people polled on her hairstyle. She was so insecure. But when she came back as Secretary of State, she didn't give a fuck what anyone thought. She's like, I'll just have you killed. Kamala Harris cares about what people think about her. And that is dangerous in a leader. Just another reason why I'm voting for Donald Trump. How about that, huh? Is that pretty cool? Thanks, Matt. We appreciate it. No problem. We love the fact that you stayed here. Oh, I'm glad I'm here. We're gonna go out on a funny note. This is from C3P Meme. These guys only have like 100,000 followers. Please go follow them. C3P Meme. They are fantastic. Fucking hilarious. This is amazing. She's not wearing that to look young. She's wearing it because she's insecure, because the internet has been making fun of her neck. Don't be fooled. Yeah, a pantsuit. HRC wore pantsuits. Sorry, she never changed her pantsuits is what I was saying. Maybe she got a new mask. Okay, we're not going to do this. Just watch this. You guys be quiet and laugh. This is black or white.
Just sit right back as the Dems implode. The swing states Trump will flip. Now Kamala, the open port of Joe Biden's sinking ship. We all know that Big Mike's the man, and Obama we endured. Dementia Joe was forced away, one too many slurs. Now democracy's secure. Primary started getting tough. Fake accent she whipped out. You know she's lying when she starts to laugh. Democracy would be lost. We must win at all costs. The Democrats now confident, hoping you'll vote for insane. With giggling, the socialist too. Is she Indian, black or white? She's the border side. Obama and Michelle the man. Here on Giggling Side.
So fucking good. CP3 memes. I have nothing to do with it. C3P memes. Go follow them on Twitter. They are fantastic. Funny shit. I take no credit. It's not mine. It's all theirs. I had nothing to do with that genius. I wish I did. I wish I was that creative. C3P meme. Go follow them at C3P meme over on Twitter. They are ridiculously good. So funny. No, I will not post that video because it's not my work. But I will give them credit all day long. One more video to show that my poll theory is Spot on.
From Iowa with a brain injury who was targeted by Democratic operatives to get his name on the ballot. Despite this man not even being able to drive, they recruited him, they targeted him over the course of a year, impersonating members of Congress, deceiving him that he was in direct conversations with Donald Trump so that he would run in a Make America Great style party to try and get on the ballot. In my home state of Iowa, Democrats who are on the ballot have said that they cannot win unless they have a spoiler on the ballot. That was just out this week. Tragically, they lied to him because they knew they could deceive him. They push-polled, paid for it. When he arrived in Des Moines, they picked him up in an electronic vehicle and then dropped him off at the Secretary of State's office. They handed him a pile of binders that had been paid and recruited for by a Democratic operative firm so that he could get his name on the ballot. They studiously avoided being on security cameras, and when he asked to have their picture taken together, they refused to take that photo. Democratic law firms notarized his information and handed it in to the Secretary of State. The only intent was to steal an election from Iowans. And as a combat veteran who, when I first ran, Democrats stole my military records, and we saw it happen time and time again with no punishment or even consequence by the Department of Justice, Democrats have stepped up their game to use truly shady tactics that not only are a direct threat to our democratic institutions in Iowa, but they are trying to manipulate and deceive Iowans. And this is where I draw the line. When you try to steal an election in my state, we fight back. We've exposed them, and I'm grateful for the AP's investigative story. These are not my words. This is their investigation into what a shady Democratic firm has done to try and steal an American election by putting false flag candidates on the ballot. Now, in our case, as a counterintelligence officer, we were successful. But this threat has not abated. And tragically, we have seen in states like Minnesota, Montana, and with my dear friend Jen Kiggins in Virginia, their attempts are real, they are paid for by independent expenditures, and they are operated in the shadows by firms directly tied to Democrats. So whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, this does not matter. Everyone should universally say these tactics are illegal, they are unacceptable, and they must be stopped. We must all work together to call out this type of deceit, because when I worked in Eastern Europe and saw Putin's playbook on how they distorted elections in real democracies, they were effective. That cannot happen here, no matter whose party it is.
So the reason I played that is because I want you to look into it. And I want you to, I'm not giving you homework, but I want you to look into it. I sit here and explain shit all the time. Look into it. Go type in Mike Johnson, look up at Iowa, look at ballot, look at fraud, and look up voter registry and see what you come up with. And you tell me, is it true? Is this accurate? And if it is it legal? Go find out, Tom. Go find out. I gave you the basic information. You tell me, is it real or not? We'll talk about it on Monday. Because I think I'm going to do this every Friday. Is I'm going to leave you something for the weekend to go research yourself and tell me what you come up with. And right or wrong, I would like to get your opinion. What is that about? Who is it? What does it mean? Does it happen in more than one state? Is this happening nationally? Is this something we've seen repeat itself? Because every election, it's always something. There's always going to be something. What is it?
Thank you, Elise.
Something to think about, at least. There's one other thing I'm going to play, and it's 9:05, but I'm going to play it anyway. Mark Cuban is full of shit. I want to show you a video that I
have to be a perfect candidate any longer because I want to see.
I want to show you a video that I found. Here it is. Mark Cuban, full of shit.
You're a Trump booster. You're a supporter.
I wouldn't say that, but I like the fact that he's changing politics.
Oh, I thought you were a Trump supporter.
Well,
he talks about you like you are.
Well, he's allowed to do that, but I just like the fact that the political game is no longer the same. You don't have to be a perfect candidate any longer because I want to see the political system change. Period. End of story. He's not going to win. He's got no chance. But someone who is an
chance. He's leading.
I've told him that, right?
Really? You think he has no chance?
None. But as an imperfect candidate, being the leader right now, he opens the door for other imperfect candidates. Because up until now,
that's what we want.
present company included. There's hope. We've had
There's hope for the imperfect.
right?
I like that. You're a Trump booster.
Oh, amazing what 9 years will do. Mark Cuban's full of shit. Don't listen to him. Mark Cuban is as full of shit as anybody and everybody. He puts his pants on the same way. His shit stinks just like all of us. He's not some prognosticator of prognosticators. He's a hardworking guy who's earned his success, and he's full of shit. From his diversity, equity, and inclusion that he doesn't apply on his basketball team, why doesn't he go ahead and take some of these WNBA players and put them on the NBA? Why? Oh, what about diversity, equity, and inclusion? He's full of shit. And he hates Trump. And he talks trash about Trump. But he loved Trump. Just like they all did. And, of course, he was one of the many fools that said, there's no way Trump can win. And Bill Maher's like, are you kidding me? He's leading. Did anyone get the name of the person the last video was referring to? No. And that's on purpose, Shirley. You're gonna have to work together. You're gonna have to compare notes. It's not that hard. Just go to Twitter and look up Mike Johnson video about election in Iowa. You'll find it in 2 seconds. But the point is I want you to dig in. I want you to uncover it because I can field these things all day long. Can you find the 1988 conversation with Donald J. Trump with Oprah? Yeah, I've got it somewhere. It's on my server somewhere. I'll find it. It's fantastic. Yeah, I can find that in 2 seconds, actually. Do you want me to find it right now? I mean, nobody's home because I'm all alone. And I didn't go to the football game and watch my kids sing the national anthem so I can be here with y'all. Did I already mention that?
My name's Zach Nunn. I represent Iowa's 3rd District. Today, I'd like to share...
Oh, I just played it again. Damn it. Can't do that. You guys have to watch the show again. It says it at the beginning.
Policy. What would you do differently, Donald?
I'd make our allies, forgetting about the enemies you can't talk to so easily.
There you go. That quick.
I'd make our allies pay their fair share. We're a debtor nation. Something's going to happen over the next number of years with this country because you can't keep going on losing $200 billion, and yet we let Japan come in and dump everything right into our markets and everything. It's not free trade. If you ever go to Japan right now and try to sell something, forget about it, Oprah. Just forget about it. It's almost impossible. They don't have laws against it. They just make it impossible. They come over here, they sell their cars, their VCRs, they knock the hell out of our companies. And, hey, I have tremendous respect for the Japanese people. I mean, you can respect somebody that's beating the hell out of you, but they are beating the hell out of this country. Kuwait, they live like kings. The poorest person in Kuwait, they live like kings. And yet they're not paying. We make it possible for them to sell their oil. Why aren't they paying us 25% of what they're making? It's a joke.
This sounds like political presidential talk to me, and I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
Probably not, but I do get tired of seeing the country ripped off.
Why would you not?
I just don't think I really have the inclination to do it. I love what I'm doing. I really like it.
Also, it doesn't pay as well.
No, it doesn't. But, you know, I just probably wouldn't do it, Oprah. I probably wouldn't, but I do get tired of seeing what's happening with this country. And if it got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally because I really am tired of seeing what's happening with this country, how we're really making other people live like kings and we're not.
What do you think of this year's presidential race, the way it's shaping up?
Well, it's going to be very interesting.
And listen, folks. The whole point of you looking this up and not being able to find it might be the whole lesson in this event. Okay. And there's a reason why. It's because Monday I realized that out of 4 years working with y'all and talking to everybody, I've never shown you how to find things. I've never shown you how I research, and I want to see what you come up with because you can find. Did you see how quickly I pulled up that Donald Trump video? It takes no time at all. I don't care what the topic is. That's why people will tell you. They email me or message me on Facebook and they ask me a question. I have an answer like 15 seconds later because it's not hard to find information. It's not hard to, once you do this, it's like people go, well, how many books a day do you read or week? Not many anymore. I've read thousands upon thousands of books. There was a time where for 10 years, all I did was read. and I am a speed reader and I love reading, but this is my new reading, which is collecting and watching and reading articles. And I store this in my head, but I can teach you how to kind of unlock this stuff. So maybe the lesson isn't finding this information. Maybe the lesson is I can't find this information. And then Monday we can kind of show you how to do it.
I think
this is 1988. I agree.
I think that
maybe 87.
Probably George Bush has an advantage in terms of the election. I think that probably people would say that he's got like that little edge in terms of the incumbency, et cetera, et cetera. But I think Jesse Jackson's done himself very proud. I think Michael Dukakis has done one hell of a job. And George Bush has done a hell of a job. You know, they all went in there sort of as semi-underdogs, including George Bush, and they've all come out. I think people that are around all three of those candidates can be very proud of the jobs they've done.
You've said, though, that if you did run for president, you believe you'd win.
Well, I don't know. I think I'd win. I tell you what, I wouldn't go in to lose. I've never gone in to lose in my life. And if I did decide to do it, I think I'd be inclined. I would say that I would have a hell of a chance of winning, because I think people...
So just to confirm, it's 1988 because Bush and Dukakis were 88.
I don't know how your audience feels, but I think people are tired of seeing the United States ripped off. And I can't promise you everything, but I can tell you one thing. This country would make one hell of a lot of money from those people that for 25 years have taken advantage. It wouldn't be the way it's been, believe me.
Donald Trump, he's been a Republican. And yes, you heard him talk about Jesse Jackson. Yes, you heard him talk, but he's always been a businessman, right? And when people go, oh, well, wait a second, you know, after 9/11, he became a Democrat. He never became a Democrat. He saw the winds of change. He was not a proponent of the Iraq War. He did not like what was going on with the neoconservatives, and he went with the Democratic Party. He donated to Hillary, but he also saw the winds of change in New York, where New York were moving towards a more democratic process, Democrats in their political process. And he went with a bellwether of change, and businessmen do that. In 2009, he jumped ship and obviously went back into the Republican Party. He took a year with the Reform Party. He was an independent for a while, and he's been a Republican for like 26 years out of his life. So a very small portion. Folks, I want to say thank you for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show tonight. I know it wasn't a huge show. I know we didn't have a ton of people on. That's okay. That doesn't bother me. I don't mind doing shows on Fridays. Sometimes they're banging, and other times they're a little bit slow. Usually we have Amy and Leroy and Olivia on, and that can be disappointing for people. And they go, oh, it's just Matt, so we're going to leave. Because I was supposed to be at a football game with my kids, but I stayed with y'all instead. That's now the 7th time that I've said that. I will leave you with a video of the kids doing the national anthem. I love this, and I'm going to watch it again because the first time I was frustrated that my daughter did not put her hand over her heart, and that was not okay with me. And I'll be talking to her about that. But here it is. No, I don't suck. I have to make a living, folks. Got to do it. I got to pay for those beautiful kids. I got to pay for that beautiful wife. Well, that sounded bad. I got to take care of my family. So, unfortunately, duty calls, father calls. Thanks, everybody, for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. I appreciate you. Go over to Wimkin, wimkin.com, sign up. Facebook and I are going to have a quick departure after the election. And if you want to find us and watch us, you got to make the switch to Wimkin. There's other stations you can watch on YouTube and Twitter and Rumble. My recommendation is watch it on Wimkin. It's got one of the best interfaces, the best uptime. It is a great, great thing. Sorry, Tom. No. Hand over the heart. Sorry. Not going to work. You're not going to convince me. She knows better, but that's okay. She's going to get a reminder, a nice reminder, just a friendly conversation with Dad. No problem. Wimkin.com. I know you're poking fun. I love you all. I don't take things seriously, even though I look like I've got resting bitch face. I don't. I'm just, I need to go. It's the weekend and I want to relax. Good night. I appreciate y'all. Remember, linktapgo.com/The Dumb Show. You can go there and you can donate to The Dumb Show. It helps. Doesn't go to anyone else but us. 100% funded by you. Thank you for everything you do. We'll see you Monday with a new recorded show, new news, and a wonderful, wonderful conversation with the Don't Unfriend Me team. Good night, everybody. God bless. See you tomorrow. What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me show. I want to talk to you about Wimkin.com. Now, Jason Shepard and the Wimkin team came into my life about a year and a half ago. They were saying that it's not a yes, you can talk to each other over Wimkin.
Facebook, it's fully encrypted, complete.
We have a chat on Wimkin, and there's a whole bunch of people over there, including new people who you don't know. So go over to Wimkin.
Completely safe, and your privacy is paramount. You can live stream. It's 100% made in the USA. And I took a little time, not going to lie. I wanted to make sure that this was the right company, and it took me a little bit to research and take part in the network, and I will tell you that I am 100% right behind Wimkin. Jason Shepard has created an amazing network where people who are sick and tired of being censored and pushed around by big tech, this doesn't happen on Wimkin. He protects your privacy, and he's willing to stand up to the government and anyone who tries to get it. He's already done it once. It doesn't make him very popular, and that's why he needs shows like us and people like you to support him, to get behind him, and to ensure that the most important thing that we all possess is the right to freedom of speech and to share our voices across this great country. Join Wimkin over at wimkin.com today.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.